going to present my study, I would also like to introduce my co-author and previous MA student, Jelena. And Jelena, maybe you just can say some words what they're doing now. We are expecting you to do the doctoral studies, but what are you doing right now?
Hello, my name is Jelena Stepanova, and I am an educational technologist and ICT manager in an Estonian basic school and co-author of the article. I participated in the study myself as a RoboMath teacher and was the second researcher collecting the data by interview method.
The study I'm going to present tells you about experience based on a really specific method, technology enhanced learning method, robots in a math lesson. And as there was previous request to talk more about users, during this longitudinal 3-year study, almost 3,000 Estonian 3rd and 6th graders were influenced almost the whole school year by this method, and also almost 200 teachers plus educational technologists were influenced. And why this study was, let's say, so good to follow is because there was no robots in math lesson as guided by Estonian math curriculum before I started the study as a part of my PhD thesis. You also see 2 professors as my supervisors on the screen. So I created this innovation and I followed it more than 3 years. Okay, so maybe the biggest contribution I consider it myself is that I focused on Dell innovation as a process, because majority of the technology acceptance models show us whether the innovation or technology enhanced learning innovation is adopted by a teacher or not. But actually there's the whole process that needs to be followed and needs to be designed. And there are also this acceptance phase and awareness phase. And I'm talking a lot about sustainability construct. And what I mean by the sustainability, I also mean that the resource of teachers' time is a really valuable resource we shouldn't just waste, proposing some innovations without the pre-designing all this Dell innovation sustainability process. So we should know that it will be in adoption phase or stage. So based on the literature and empirical studies, I draw on 6 main factors influencing the behavior of teachers, whether they are ready to move from first stage, that is awareness, so they just hear about this innovation, to the next stage called implementation, and whether they are ready to adopt it finally. Now, some numbers. So based on these 22 teachers, I'm really sorry, because of this COVID, we couldn't torture more of these 200 teachers. We even selected school holidays to conduct these Zoom interviews with them. As you see, majority of teachers consider that they will take the decision of whether they start trying in 2 weeks. So we don't have a lot of time to propose our innovation. And if we propose it not so well, then the train is gone. Now, as you see, this acceptance phase usually lasts 1 school year. And it doesn't mean that we have to provide this scaffolding and support throughout this 1 year, not just provide some teacher training courses. And this adoption phase, at least considered by the literature, is, we can say that if more than 2 years have passed without the external help, it is sustained in teachers' teaching practices. As you see, the whole cycle of my study, I haven't possibility to follow them more than 3.5 years. What I discovered, I don't know whether I can say that's a model, but at least an approach, or maybe it's a model. You see that during different phases, that different factors play an important role whether the teacher moves further. And when we talk about technology enhanced learning innovations, the organizational factors and technological factors remain almost the same. But as you see, the personal factors importance fades because when it has become already my teaching practice, I don't think whether I like it or not. And as you see, the perceived value also touched by so many technology acceptance models become almost most important, because as a teacher, I have to perceive it's a really valuable, or I just discontinue, like Roger's told. And the social practices factors, what I mean by them, it's mostly related to the collective and collaborative knowledge creation and sharing. Maybe some takeaways, or what at least I personally consider most important of this study, is when we see teachers using any type of technology enhanced learning innovation, it doesn't mean that it is adopted. It just means that they are interested. They have moved from awareness to acceptance, and they just have to try it out in a real setting. So we can say that the innovation is adopted when there has been already several years when the teacher has used it regularly without external help. And the second one, as I started, I would also remind you that sustainability can be a responsibility of researchers. So when we throw something out, we should think through all the sustainability process, not only our PhD study or our Horizon project. We should think about how valuable the time of the teachers, especially during the COVID time. So thank you so much.